Our presentation tonight, the field of gynecology. The object in point, a paper fan. The case in point, Gwen Sanders Kellogg. She's the mother of 2 children, a boy and a girl. For the past 20 years, her life has been remarkably average. For the most part, she seems contented, quite happy and well-adjusted. But beneath the surface, something's happened. She can only feel with a desperate certainty that some unknown, intangible enemy is slowly destroying her marriage, her happiness, and her life. And she's partly right. The enemy is common to us all. And the enemy is time. But time passes. Fashions are for the moment. Youth is not forever.
Thank you, Maestro. Well done. And now our Gala New Year's Eve dancing party continues here in the beautiful Crystal Room. It's all yours, Maestro.
Yeah? Well, I didn't think that square you were with was much either.
Are you kidding? When you learn to dress half as well as Bruce, just look me up.
Hey, lights on in Mom's room. Better check in, huh? Mom, what's the matter?
What is it, Mother? What happened?
I just got a little dizzy. That's all. I'm all right. Going to bed.
Why, all right, nothing. I'm calling a doctor right now.
You'll do nothing of the kind. Who do you think you are contradicting me? I told you I'm all right.
But you look terrible. What's this goofy-looking thing you've got on?
I told you to go to bed. Now get out of here. I've taken enough sass from you, young man.
Oh, take it easy, Mother, and try to relax. I'll run downstairs and get you some ice water.
I don't want any ice water. I don't want anything. Just get out and leave me alone, both of you.
Turn down Mother's bed, Dave. I'll be right back. Information? I'd like the phone number for Dr. Conrad Steiner. Yes, that's right. S-T-Y-N-E-R.
And that's about the extent of it. Breathing was rapid, heart fluttery, hot, feverish sensation, and then you became faint, dizzy.
That's all there was to it, Doctor. I'm sorry the kids bothered you.
Well, it's no bother, Miss Kellogg. I'm usually up at this hour for one reason or another. Tell me, how long have you been having these spells?
I don't know. Well, the past 8 or 9 months, I suppose.
Miss Kellogg, I know this next question's always a little touchy, but how old are you?
Why?
I promise not to tell one of your girlfriends. Seriously, your age could have a very definite bearing on my diagnosis.
I don't suppose I'm fooling anyone. Least of all you. It's the change, isn't it?
What do you mean by the change?
You know what I mean. Menopause. I'm going through the menopause. Isn't that what you're getting at?
Mrs. Kellogg, that's a word I haven't used for years. I not only haven't used it, I don't even like to hear it anymore. It's a catch-all. It's an outdated catch-all, a wastebasket phrase for a problem so highly complex it couldn't possibly be tagged with one convenient label like menopause, change of life, or anything else.
All right, so it's the wrong word. It still amounts to the same thing, doesn't it?
Well, in a way, I suppose it does, yes. But you certainly shouldn't look on it as any terrible catastrophe the way you women used to. In your mother's day, it was expected that women would suffer through it silently and without very much help either. They called it everything from the vapors to the hot flashes to crossing over the bridge. It was all very mysterious, something nobody talked about. And women had to put up with it the best way they could.
Well, and we're still putting up with it. There are cures for everything else, but as far as I can see, I'm no better off than my mother was.
Miss Kellogg, you give me a chance, and I think I can prove that you're wrong. Medicine's come a long way in this particular field. We know there's nothing mysterious about it. We know exactly what's happening, and we have the medication to treat it. And incidentally, young lady, how long has it been since you were in for a checkup? It's been over 2 years, hasn't it?
Oh, well, I felt all right. Well, I mean... Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Doesn't make any difference.
Hi, Dad. Dave? Hi, sweetheart. The plane was late. I got here as soon as I could. How is she?
The doctor's up with her now.
Well, what happened? Is it bad?
It's the worst one so far. Kath and I got home, found her stretched out on the floor. We tried to get her into bed. She teed off on both of us.
She just didn't make sense. I've never seen her like this before.
She read us both off, got pretty nasty, started throwing things around, broke a vase.
Hello, Doctor. How are you?
Mr. Kellogg?
Dr. Steiner, how is she?
Well, she's hardly critical, I can tell you that much. Little rest, some special care, and she'll be over this spell in no time.
Well, that's a relief.
Well, it doesn't mean her troubles are over. Yeah. And I wish I had time right now to sit down and talk over the problem with the three of you, but I'm in surgery in half an hour. Mr. Kellogg, your wife's coming in Tuesday afternoon for a checkup. I'd like to have all three of you there. It's important, believe me. Can I count on you?
Yes.
Fine, I'll see you Tuesday then.
Oh, Doctor, do we have to get anything for Gwen? I mean, does she need anything special right now?
Mm-hmm. The three of you. The following Tuesday afternoon, Gwen Kellogg kept her appointment for a complete physical examination. Mr. Kellogg was off on another business trip. The children were otherwise occupied. After reviewing her history, Mrs. Kellogg received a general physical examination. For her age, she was above average in general health. There had been 2 pregnancies, no complications, normal deliveries. No history of surgery. Blood pressure normal, pulse 74. Blood count, urinalysis both normal. An electrocardiogram gave no indication of any heart abnormality. Chest x-rays revealed no cardiac or pulmonary lesions. A cancer smear was negative. A thyroid function test came within the lower limits of normal. One important phase of the treatment, acquainting the patient with the truth of her condition, had begun. A second important phase, acquainting the patient's family with the truth of her condition, still awaited a beginning.
How you doing, honey? Finished?
What's the matter with you people down there? I've been calling for the last half hour. Here, take this.
I'm sorry, hon. I was in the kitchen.
Not there. You'll scratch the chest. I don't know what you use for a brain. What are the kids doing? Have they cleaned up the living room yet?
No, they're all finished. They're doing the dishes now.
Could be dead as far as they're concerned. They look in and say, hi. It's the last you see of them. Ah, you're all alike. Only time you come around is when you want something.
Oh, look, honey, why don't you take it easy? Relax. Why do you have to keep riding everybody?
Riding everybody? Well, fancy that. I'd like to know where you'd be today if I hadn't kept after you every step of the way. Probably still back in the first year of law school.
Come on, Gwen, knock it off.
By the way, how did your latest out-of-town conference turn out? Enjoy yourself?
Oh, not much. I worked till midnight with Raymond's lawyers, went back to the hotel, went to bed.
You went to bed? I'll bet you did.
Why don't you wash out your mind?
What's the matter, counselor? Guilty conscience?
I'm sorry, I just don't follow you. How about the prescription Dr. Steiner gave you? You ever get it filled?
Come now, counselor. Why the sudden concern over the little woman's health? It hasn't bothered you much up until now. Guilty conscience again?
Lay off it, Gwen. I mean it. I'm getting sick of this. Sick of the whole routine. Whole year of it. Dirty cracks, insinuating. Or acting like a shrew, an old fishwife.
An old fishwife?
Pretty good aim.
Serves you right. I've taken all I'm going to take from you. How I put up with it, I'll never know. And those kids, too, all 3 of you. What thanks do I get? Keeping up the house, doing your cooking, seeing you taken care of, picking things up after you, entertaining your friends. Year in and year out, I've worked for you. I've worked like a slave. And what thanks do I get? Old shrew. Old fishwife. I hope you're proud of yourself.
Look, I'm going for a walk.
Oh, go on and walk, mister. And you can just keep right on walking. You're not doing me any favors. I can get around town by myself. I don't need you. I don't need any of you. You hear what I said? I can take care of myself. I can get around. I don't need you. I don't need anybody. Believe I will. I'll have a martini, a dry martini.
Dry martini? Yes, madame.
Anything special you'd like to hear?
Oh, no. No, thank you. Just anything. Thank you.
Order dinner now, Mrs. Kellogg. We have a table for you.
Not now, Andrea. I'd like to wait a few minutes. Is that all right?
Oh, yes, madame, certainly.
Arthur, will you do me a favor? Can you play When We're Alone? Do you know When We're Alone?
I love to. This song?
Oh, no, it's beautiful. It's just beautiful.
Hey, Arthur, you holding awake or something? Let's have an up-tune, huh? Play a mambo.
All right, Madge, it's coming up. It can't be that bad. Tears, idle tears. Nothing's worth a lady's sorrow.
You don't understand, Arthur. Nobody cares. I'm old. I'm old.
Ah, that spring should vanish with a rose. That used, sweet-scented manuscript should close.
Isn't that the truth, Arthur? That's just the way it is. Nobody cares.
That's only one way of looking at it. Age. There's a much brighter side. Life is most delightful when it is on the downward slope. The young who have not wept are savage. The old who will not laugh are fools. Grow old along with me. The best is yet to be.
Hey, you, long face. Why don't you quit bothering Arthur and let him play? Come on, Arthur, let's have a mambo. I asked you an hour ago.
All right, Barge. All right.
Arthur, I'd like to hear When We're Alone. Will you play it again?
So we're alone again. Wow, that's just about your speed, honey. That went out with 23 skidoo.
I'm sure you know more about that than I do.
Lady, you've got more mileage on you than Jack Benny's Maxwell. Isn't it about time you climb on your broom and fly home?
Ladies, please.
Excuse me, Arthur.
Okay, Arthur. Now how about it? Let's have a mambo.
Gwen? Come on, honey. Let's go home.
So you can see that this change, this so-called menopause that she's going through, involves not only physical but psychological factors as well. Environment, the attitude of people close to her. That's why it was important that I talk to you.
I knew all women go through this sooner or later, but is it usually this bad?
Sometimes better and sometimes worse, depending on circumstances and the general physical makeup of the patient. See, actually, your body's changing from the day you're born, constantly changing. Various glands in the body. The endocrine glands are particularly important in a case like your mother's.
Now, that's the root of all the trouble, isn't it? Glandular upset.
Well, not entirely, Mr. Kellogg, but it's a very important consideration. You see, at your wife's age, the thyroid gland, the adrenals, pituitary, they function at a different rate. The manufacture of body hormones, male and female, is different. And as a result, there are certain physical discomforts. One of them's hot flashes, as most people call it.
And that fouls up her mental attitude. That's why she's been so irritable, grouchy, so unreasonable.
Well, that's part of it. And part of it rests with Mrs. Kellogg. Very often during this period, women tend to be over-demanding. They want to be pampered, spoiled. Now, I don't think that's the case with Mrs. Kellogg. I think a good part of this problem rests right here.
What do you mean? Am I to blame?
Well, I'm thinking about all three of you. First of all, I want to make it clear that there is nothing radically wrong with Mrs. Kellogg, either mentally or physically. All right, then what is it? Basically, I believe it's the terrible, gnawing fear that her life is over, symbolized by the failing reproductive ability. Suddenly she realizes that her son and daughter are grown up. They don't need her anymore.
That's not true. Well, of course we still need her. Why, we all need her.
We've only been trying to help her, Doctor.
Oh, I know that you acted from the best of intentions, but don't you see what you do? You strengthen and build up in her mind the one attitude that's the key to the whole problem. She thinks she's through. She's on the shelf. She's a candidate for a wheelchair. And you very thoughtfully hand her a pair of crutches.
Never occurred to me that she felt that way.
And suppose at the age of 45 you'd been told that you had to retire and join the ex-lawyers club. What would you say to that?
Well, that doesn't apply, Doctor. You see, lawyers are just reaching their peak at 45.
And that's exactly my point.
Oh, I'm beginning to see what you mean.
Yeah, same here.
Kathy?
I understand.
And that's it. That's as far as I can go. The rest of it's in your hands. Of course, we'll need her cooperation, too. But if you understand the problem, if you recognize it for what it is, then all I can say is act accordingly. Use your head. Use your heart. You won't go far wrong.
Come on, honey, it's almost time.
I'll be right there, dear.
Well, here she is just in time. What have you got there?
Oh, nothing, just a few old things to keep the fire going. Would you take the screen away, dear?
Sure thing.
Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year.
Glenn, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, darling.